Hello learners, today we are going to learn a topic on components of educational technology, hardware and software. For introduction of the topic, educational technology consists of two interrelated concepts, namely education and technology. Here, education refers to the process of overall development of the child, and technology involves highly designed and sophisticated engineering of software and hardware that is meant for systematic organization of knowledge for practical purposes. In order to serve educational purposes, there is need of educational technology which helps in improving the processes as well as products of education. It is also called as learning technology, which comprise of the use of technology in teaching learning process. The basic idea behind the educational technology is using all available resources, human and non-human, in a systematic manner to find viable solution to educational problems. With its first coinage, it referred to technology in education, implying the use of a variety of educational audio-visual aids for teaching purposes. With further conceptual development of educational technology, the term technology of education came into vogue, which looked at education in a wider sense and included different aspects such as entry behavior of learners, objectives, contents, evaluation, etc. In addition, arrival of digital media added new dimension to educational technology. The concept is not constant but keeps on changing with changing time and scenario. Its scope and area is as wide as that of education itself. The universally accepted definition of educational technology involves processes, methods, and techniques, products, resources, and technologies organized into workable system. In National Focus Group on Educational Technology (NCERT), it is described as the efficient organization of any learning system adapting or adopting methods, processes, and products to serve identified educational goals. This involves systematic identification of the goals of education, recognition of the diversity of learners' needs, the context in which learning will take place, and the range of provisions needed for each of these. Adding to it, educational technology is solely concerned with the task of identifying the most appropriate, relevant, suitable, and developed technology, both hardware and software, for serving the educational needs and purposes of the students and the society at a particular time and place. According to GOM Leith, educational technology is the systematic application of scientific knowledge about teaching, learning, and conditions of learning to improve the efficiency of teaching and training. On analysis of these definitions of educational technology, it can be said that it helps in bringing improvement in the processes and products of education through systematic organization and application of knowledge. Now, we will see what are the basic components of educational technology. In the field of education, educational technology has a wide range of scope and applicability. It helps in provision of necessary ways and means for bringing improvement in the processes and products of teaching and learning. It makes practitioners search for new and innovatively effective ways of organizing teaching learning processes. It has different aspects and forms such as teaching technology, instructional technology, behavioral technology, and instructional design technology. Further, on the basis of the concepts of educational technology given in the introduction, it can be said that it is a multifaceted concept. This multifaceted concept has different components which can be understood in terms of the approaches to educational technology. Hamsten has listed three distinct approaches to educational technology, which are Educational Technology 1 or hardware approach, Educational Technology 2 or software approach, and Educational Technology 3 or system approach. Here, hardware and software components will be discussed elaborately. First, we will go through the component of hardware approach. Hardware approach to educational technology is originated from physical sciences and engineering. This component is based on the concept of service, which can be called as using technology in education. It adopts product-oriented approach where more concern is shown for production and utilization of audio-visual aid materials such as charts, models, slides, film strips, audio cassettes, and sophisticated equipment such as radio, TV, films, projectors, tape recorders, video, teaching machine, and computers. It strengthens the concept of utilizing these equipment and materials. It is also concerned with the advancement of mass media, which contribute a lot to reach the educational benefits to masses with great ease and in more cost-effective ways. This technology mechanizes the teaching learning processes. According to Ruhela, this part of educational technology refers to tools and hardware such as teaching machines, TV, tape recorders, etc., which are used in instructions. In fact, the selection and utilization of machines and hardware approaches in the field of learning is called hardware approach or educational technology 1. Silverman called it relative technology, which refers to borrowing and applying technology, machines and devices in the process of teaching and learning. By using these devices, teacher can deal with larger group of students to have discourse on teaching learning experiences. Further, it is added that it utilizes the products of software technology for its functioning. It has the potential to hand over the educational benefits to the masses with greater ease and economy. Now we will see what software approach means. Unlike the origin of hardware approach, this software approach is originated from behavioral sciences and its applied aspects, which are concerned with psychology of learning. It is also referred to as instructional technology, teaching technology, and or behavior technology. It denotes technology of education. It is a process-oriented approach to produce suitable teaching learning material, strategies, and techniques for the optimum results in teaching learning process on the basis of knowledge and principles of psychology of learning. It denotes the application of teaching learning principles towards directing and shaping behavior of learners as per desired by society. According to Silverman, it is called as constructive educational technology. It is mainly concentrated on the processes of analysis, selection, and construction of necessary elements to meet the educational needs of the learners. Now we will see what is the difference between hardware and software components. These two approaches to educational technology are different in several areas which are described in the following manner. Hardware approach has its origin in physical sciences and applied engineering, whereas software approach has its origin in behavioral sciences and their applied aspects concerning psychology of learning. Hardware approach is concerned with the production and utilization of audio-visual material, instruments and mass media for helping the learners and teachers in their task. Software approach is concerned with the usage of psychology of learning for production and utilization of software techniques and materials for smoothing the teaching learning tasks. Hardware approach adopts product-oriented approach. The products of software technology in the form of teaching learning materials and strategies are utilized by hardware instruments for effective teaching learning. Software approach adopts process-oriented approach for production of materials. Produced materials are available to be used by the hardware appliances. Hardware is based on the concept of service. It stands for technology in education. On the other hand, software components do not provide direct services to its users. It stands for technology in education. Hardware needs the services of software for its usage and functioning. Productivity and usefulness of software approach is dependent on the case if it is assisted and made into use by hardware appliances and gadgets. Hardware approach has mass appeal and utilization, whereas software approach doesn't have such appeal to masses. Hardware has resulted in improving the efficiency of educational means and reducing the cost of education, whereas software contributes in increasing the efficiency of teachers and learners. The examples of hardware are radio, TV, tape recorder, video, slides and film, projectors, computers, machines, etc. Examples of software are programmed learning materials, strategies, etc. On the basis of these points, it can be said that both approaches are different in nature but are complementary to each other. One's presence is necessary for functioning as well as for proper and judicious utilization of another one to make educational practices and teaching learning processes effective and productive. Now, we will see what are the roles of the components of educational technology in educational practices. Technology as a systematic organization of knowledge for practical purposes is used for bringing effectiveness in the process of teaching and learning. This educational technology improves the educational processes through its components such as software and hardware technologies. The role of these components in educational practices are briefly presented in the given points. It helps in providing individualization of instruction and personalized learning according to the needs, interest, pace, and abilities of the individual learner. It uses multimedia and multisensory approach to teaching and learning, which are based on the principles of psychology of learning. It helps in management of the affairs of educational practices in an efficient and productive way through proper planning, systematic organization, efficient leading, and proper control of teaching and learning processes. It helps in providing effective and proper input in the form of instructional materials, equipment and appliances, and involved processes in the form of methods, strategies and devices for the best possible outcomes or products which move towards realization of learning objectives in efficient and cost-effective ways. It fulfills the expectations of distance and correspondence education in order to make learning accessible to all learners irrespective of where they are situated. It makes teaching and learning tasks more interesting, productive, meaningful, and purposeful. conclude this topic, it can be stated that education and technology are interrelatedly complementary to each other. The effective and efficient use of technology in the field of education helps in bringing improvement in the process of education and in realizing its goals. Educational technology as a multifaceted concept uses all available resources in a systematic and organized manner to solve the educational problems. It has hardware as well as software components. The former denotes technology in education and the latter technology of education. The software component makes hardware function properly and software components are redundant without appropriate hardware. These components help in individualization of instruction, multimedia and multisensory approach to teaching and learning, management of the affairs of educational practices, providing effective and proper input and processes for the best possible products, fulfilling the expectations of distance and correspondence education, and making teaching and learning tasks more interesting, productive, meaningful, and purposeful.